What's going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of the Lakers Outsiders Weekly Podcast, brought to you by UCast Studios. I'm your host, Gary Kester, here with you as always. The last time I was on here, I was discussing the Lakers' last loss, and that was to the Toronto Raptors. Since then, they've reeled off 3 straight wins, getting back on track, and they are currently sitting at 10-2. Still atop the Western Conference standings, sitting right where they belong in the number 1 spot. Hopefully they can stay there. I'm going to talk about these most recent 3 wins, starting with at Phoenix, and then a blowout win against the Golden State Warriors, and then a close win over the Sacramento Kings. So before I get started, as always, guys, be sure to like this video, comment, and subscribe to UCast Studios and Lakers Outsiders on YouTube and all the major podcast platforms. And, of course, you can always find all of Lakers Outsiders content on LakersOutsiders.com, and you can follow us on social media on Twitter at Lakers Outsiders, and also same for Instagram, just at Lakers Outsiders, and then go ahead and like us on Facebook as well. And me personally, you can follow me on Twitter at Gary Kester, and that's GaryKester. All right, let's jump in. Like I said, the Lakers are back on track. Had the little setback against the Toronto Raptors, who are a good team. They're a good team. I said that on the last podcast I did. I don't consider that really a bad loss at all. It's frustrating because they were a little shorthanded, but the Lakers, it's a good team. It's a good team that they lost to, and Lakers they've bounced back. They're not fully healthy at the moment. There was news that dropped before the game yesterday, by the time I'm recording this. Avery Bradley will be out 1 to 2, or he'll be out at least 1 to 2 weeks, and then he'll be reevaluated for what was called a hairline fracture, I believe in his leg, which doesn't sound. It sounds like it might not be too serious. They said it was on a non-weight bearing bone, which is very encouraging. It's not the same as Kyle Kuzma's injury, which was a stress fracture, which from my understanding, I'm far from a doctor, but from my understanding is basically overuse. Kyle Kuzma was obviously very busy in the offseason with his normal workouts while also playing for Team USA. So that stress fracture kept him out a while, but this looks like a pretty different injury for Avery Bradley, and one that I think fans should be a little more optimistic about. It doesn't sound too serious. Might just need some time off, maybe a few weeks off. But I think the Lakers can manage. I think they can manage, especially in this part of their schedule. They got a road trip coming up, but right now they still got 2 more home games before they get to that. But and I'll talk about the upcoming couple games at the very end. But like I said, the Lakers have, after they had a nice 7-game win streak snapped by the Toronto Raptors, they're on a 3-game win streak now. Starting with the game at Phoenix, I think before the season, a lot of people, myself included, would have circled that game as an easy win for the Lakers. Phoenix has been a very surprising team this year, and has been much better than a lot of people thought. Probably everybody outside of the Phoenix area thought. And they provided quite the challenge for the Lakers. That was a really fun game to watch as a basketball fan. Phoenix looks pretty good, man. They look pretty good. So that was a really good road win for the Lakers. They moved the ball extremely well. Offensively, I felt like the Lakers were getting pretty much whatever they wanted, which was very good to see. The offensive execution was great. I thought they got a lot of contributions from a lot of different places. Kyle Kuzma really was a great bounce back game for him, because he kind of got grilled a lot for his defense against Pascal Siakam in the Toronto game, which I think I said on the last podcast. It's not a great look to allow a guy to go 7 for 7 when you're guarding him. But Pascal Siakam is such a unique matchup for anybody that he's going to be a tough guy to guard, unless you're a guy like Anthony Davis, who did a great job on him, and LeBron James also. But Pascal Siakam is just such a unique matchup, kind of like just with the length and athleticism and the skill set is tough to match up with. But Kyle Kuzma bounced back in a big way in this game. The Lakers won 123 to 115. Got pretty close there at the end. It was kind of a back and forth game. The Suns shot really well from 3, but the Lakers Their offense just stayed consistent throughout. They shot 53.7% from the field. The three-point shooting kind of leveled out. The Lakers shot 40% from three. Phoenix shot 42%. So 10 threes for the Lakers, 16 for the Suns. It seemed like anytime the Lakers would get a little bit of a lead there in the second half, the Suns would hit a three and kind of keep it close. But um, like I said, a lot of contributions from a number of different areas. It was a pretty balanced attack for the Lakers. I mean, obviously you're going to get what you always get out of LeBron and Anthony Davis. Both made some big plays, but Kyle Kuzma, 23 points off the bench, 9 of 16 shooting, 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. It really showed kind of the full repertoire of his offensive skill set, his ability to score. I mean, you saw some stuff in transition, you saw some mid range stuff, you saw the 3-point shooting, crafty finishing around the basket. You know, Kuzma has excellent touch around the basket. That is one thing I'll give him a lot of credit for a guy. Really, I mean, his size. I mean, coming into the league, he was basically a four. Now I think he plays more like a wing than anything, but he's got great touch around the basket, and if he gets the 3-point shot working again, that's a huge boost for him, and it's a huge boost for the Lakers. So Dwight Howard was also really big, made some really timely plays both defensively and made some timely buckets on offense. He had 12 points and 9 rebounds, also one block shot, but he's been just solid on defense all year long. It was also Rajon Rondo's debut, which was good to see. I mean, those of you that know me, I'm not a huge Rondo believer at this point. I think he can, have moments where he's very good, but I think I worry about him defensively and just really the lack of perimeter threat as a shooter. Kind of kills some offensive spacing for the Lakers, but he played really well. He played really well. I mean, he only had 5 points, but I mean, he's filled the stat sheet. I mean, 5 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds, all in 14 minutes. So he did a really, really nice job. And like I said, the Lakers had a balanced attack. JaVale had 11 points, hit all 5 of his shots. Avery Bradley, though, had really the play of the game. Close game down the stretch, and the Lakers really needed a bucket badly. I think LeBron had just hit a clutch three, and I don't remember if it was the very next possession or what, but very close game. And I'm looking at the play-by-play now. There was 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes left. LeBron missed a deep three. Lakers were up 114-113. 2 minutes left. Avery Bradley came flying in for the offensive rebound. Just an absolutely amazing effort play by Avery Bradley, who then found Alex Caruso as the shot clock reset to 14, and Caruso had Kyle Kuzma wide open right behind him, and Kuzma, without hesitation, let it fly and hit a big, big triple to put the Lakers up by 4 with 2 minutes left. And then the Lakers got a stop, and then the next possession, Kyle Kuzma hit another three off of an Avery Bradley assist, and that put the Lakers up 7 and really kind of put that one out of reach at that point. And the Lakers made their free throws, took care of the basketball, and took care of business to get the 123-115 victory. Again, that's a really good win. I mean, before the season, you would have thought, it's just the Suns, whatever. But I believe the Suns are sitting at 6-4 right now. They're 4-3 at home. They've been a tough team, man. They've been a tough team. They do a nice job kind of spacing the floor, shooting a lot of threes. I mean, even Aaron Baines can shoot threes, and he was problematic for the Lakers with JaVale McGee on him. JaVale kind of kept losing him on the 3-point line, and Baines made the Lakers pay. He hit 4 of his 6 threes, and they all just seemed to be pretty timely threes. It seemed like anytime the Lakers tried to get some momentum, Baines would hit a three, or Sarge would hit a three. Rubio, I swear, turns into a sharpshooter 4 times a year. It's like every 4 times he plays the Lakers. Never understand it. I think somebody on Twitter highlighted that he has a better 3-point percentage against the Lakers in his career than Steph Curry does against the Lakers. Just amazing. It's just amazing how it's death, taxes, and Ricky Rubio learning to shoot against the Lakers. But wasn't enough, as the Lakers still found a way to get it done. Like I said, big plays all around, and Avery Bradley, though, had the play of the game with that offensive rebound that led to Kyle Kuzma hitting a big, big triple. Lakers did, I thought, a pretty nice job defensively on Devin Booker, especially Alex Caruso. Caruso, I thought, was really frustrating. Booker drew 2 charges on him, and you could tell Booker was just kind of frustrated. I think he was really frustrated. It was like, like, how is Alex Caruso kind of locking me up? But Caruso did a really really nice job. I think it's nice to see that people are really recognizing Caruso's defensive ability because the dude can defend. I mean, he's not a perfect player by any means, but he's a solid role player, and he can really, really play good defense, and both I think on the ball and away from the ball. I think he's a smart defender as well. Just does a lot of good on the defensive end, and I think it's nice that Frank Vogel, especially because Caruso didn't play in that first game against the Clippers, but ever since he's gotten consistent minutes in the rotation, and Caruso does a nice job. So big win to get back on track, and that's how you. I don't remember if I said this on the last pod or not, but um, I don't like to judge teams based exactly on their losses. I think you could learn a lot about a team on how they respond to losses. And so far, the two losses that the Lakers have had this year, they bounce back with wins the very next game. So that's nice to see. And I think, I don't remember exactly what year, but I remember one year under Phil Jackson, or maybe it was a couple years under Phil Jackson, the Lakers would never, I don't think they ever lost like 3 games in a row. There was one or two of those years at least where the Lakers under Phil Jackson, I mean, when they were competing for championships, obviously, where they just wouldn't lose 3 games in a row. They might lose two, but they would always find a way to put a halt to it there. And hopefully comes a characteristic of this team where they just don't let things kind of get out of control. You're going to have a hiccup here and there. It's 82 game season, and you're going to lose games. You're going to lose games. You're not going to win every single one of them. But it's good to see that this team has been able to bounce back and start a new win streak. And try and get this thing rolling again. The Golden State game, I probably won't have a ton to say about it. I mean, the Lakers are just so much better than the Warriors. Feels like the universe has corrected itself in that regard for 5 or 6 years. I mean, the Warriors were the juggernaut of the league, and it just seems like basketball karma has come and just destroyed them this year with their injuries and Durant leaving and all this stuff. And they announced today that D'Angelo Russell is going to be out for a couple weeks at least now. So that team is just it's going to be a very very long year for them. But I don't think anybody feels sorry for them. I certainly don't. I mean, you dominated the league for the last 5 years, and you let us all know it. Not that I blame you guys, but we definitely heard it from you for 5 years. But at least for this year, it's over. It's over. So the Warriors are now 2-10. The Lakers made easy work of them. I mean, they were up 12 after the first quarter. Second half just dominated. I mean, outscored them in the fourth, 22-12. 120-94 was the final score. LeBron was dominant, and it was so good to get Anthony Davis a rest game because that shoulder's been really bothering him. He also, I think, had a rib injury from the Suns game. So it was nice, especially on the second night of a back-to-back, to let AD get some rest. Hopefully let that shoulder get a little bit better, let it recover a little bit. And LeBron, said, follow me, I'll take care of this. And had 23 points, 12 assists, 6 rebounds. Only played 26 minutes. I think that's what was probably my favorite thing of this game was that, LeBron didn't have to be on the court for too long. JaVale McGee was fantastic in that game. 18 points, 17 rebounds, 8 of his 12 shots. He had 3 blocks, 3 steals. That was, to me at least, by far his best game of the year. I thought JaVale was fantastic against Golden State, and hopefully we get to see that JaVale a lot more often this year. Kyle Kuzma continued to play well, hit 3 of his 6 threes, 7 of 12 shooting, and had 22 points, 5 boards. Yeah, I mean, like I said, guys, it was easy work. And it's so weird to kind of have it flip so drastically in one year, where the Lakers were, well behind the Warriors, and now it just flipped, and now it feels like basically my childhood again, where the Warriors were far worse than the Lakers. So it's good to see the Lakers have a nice, easy game, nice, comfortable, where none of us really had to worry or anything, and it was. Like I said, it was nice to see the Lakers just kind of coast to a victory and get AD some rest. And it was a pretty light workload for LeBron, only playing 26 minutes. So that's what you like to see. All right, finally, the Sacramento Kings. Oh boy, don't even get me started on whoever runs their Twitter account and their obsession with the Lakers. It is the cutest thing that the Kings consider the Lakers their rival when the Kings, I mean, I don't think that they've ever beaten the Lakers in the playoffs. We had the battle in 2002. Great series, all-time great series. People talk about the refs, whatever. And Kings fans are complaining about the refs from last night's game. It's a shocker. I'll give the Kings some credit. I'll give them some credit. They have been playing better ball lately. I believe they started 0-5, and since then, coming into the game, they were 4-1, playing much better under Luke Walton. And they're a little banged up right now. They didn't have De'Aaron Fox or Marvin Bagley. Lakers didn't have Avery Bradley, so neither team was fully healthy. But the Kings obviously probably a little more banged up. But they played. I mean, the Kings made this a tough game for the Lakers. They've got some guys on their team that are just so annoying to play against for the Lakers. It seems like every time. Maybe none more annoying than Bogdan Bogdanovic. He had 18 points. 5 assists, but he hit 3 of 5 threes. He always just seems to make timely buckets against the Lakers in the fourth quarter. And he continued to do that again. Buddy Hield was decent. I mean, 6 of 14. His shot profile is just makes me, I don't know, it makes me laugh, it makes me smile. 6 of 15 from the floor, which means he was 0 for 1 from 2. 0-1 from 2 because he was 6 of 14 from the three-point line. So Buddy knows his game, and he shoots a lot of threes, and he had 21 points overall. So, but the Lakers, it was kind of a funky game. The Kings jumped out to a really hot start. They were up 30-20 after Harrison Barnes hit a half-court shot, of course. Go figure. And I think the Kings were up 42-29 at one point in the second half. And the Lakers had a 14-0 run to really get them right back in it. Felt like one of those games back when the Lakers had like Shaq and Kobe or Kobe and Powell, where it was just like they kind of understood that they were playing a lesser team and just kind of realized, let's just kind of keep it close. And then the second half we'll turn it up. And that was what they did. LeBron had just an unbelievably monstrous dunk on Bielitsa and just sent the bench into a frenzy. I mean, look over and JaVale McGee is carrying Rajon Rondo like he's like a little kid. Just an unbelievable dunk. I mean, LeBron's almost 35 years old and he still just looks fantastic. He looks fantastic. You can tell you can just tell the guy's just kind of out for blood this year. I think he heard all the noise about how he's washed up and, Father Time's catching up to him and whatnot. And, especially just how with how last year went, people, I think a lot of non-Laker fans ignoring context and how banged up that team was from an injury standpoint. I mean, we only had like 20 games with Brandon Ingram, LeBron James, and Lonzo Ball all healthy. So last year was just kind of felt like a waste because injuries really robbed the Lakers of seeing what their team could be. But it's all worked out in the end for the Lakers. I think they upgraded their coaching staff in a big way. And obviously they have Anthony Davis now instead of the young guys, which I was a big fan of the young guys, but now they are sitting pretty. So this was a really nice win. I mean, you take any win you can get. I mean, I know a lot of people might be upset, like, oh, the Kings are 4-7 now. We shouldn't be needing a 2-point win. Thanks to, I don't know what the Kings were doing, I guess, at the end. It looked like they intentionally fouled LeBron, or maybe that's just kind of how it looked because Barnes reached in with about 5 seconds left, about 30 feet from the basket, as LeBron was starting his move to go towards the basket, and fouled LeBron and put him on the line for 2. Maybe they thought that LeBron would be in his head and would miss a couple of free throws, but I mean, LeBron hit both free throws, put the Lakers up 2. He was 7 of 7 from the free throw line, and then with 5 seconds left, the Kings used a little misdirection with the fake handoff to Bogdanovic. Harrison Barnes looked like tripped over his own feet. I don't know if he was accidentally tripped by LeBron or what. From the views that I saw, it looked like he just kind of tripped over his own feet. But and then Anthony Davis just engulfed him at the rim. I know Kings fans are whining about a foul, whatever. and act like they lost the game because there was no foul call. I mean, how do we even know Harrison Barnes goes up there and hits both free throws if there's a foul? And even if he does, it's a tie game. So, Kings fans just stay whining about the refs, I guess. I don't know. Um, yeah, the Lakers are the better team. I mean, they got the win. It was ugly, but you're going to have games like that in over the course of an 82 game season, and I always say I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty. I think there were pretty losses with the rebuilding Lakers where the young guys played well and they fought really hard but lost a close game, and we were all encouraged because of the effort and all this stuff and certain things that they did. But I'd rather have this version of the Lakers team that can compete for a championship and is going to have some ugly wins against lesser teams. Because all that matters, I mean, this isn't college. You're not playing for, uh, a one seed in your region in the NCAA tournament or trying to get into a college football playoff, things like that. All that matters is you win. The wins are, there's no style points in the NBA. If you go 82, like if you win 82-0 and you won every game by 1 point, nobody's going to complain. You got 82 wins. So, um, there's no style points in the NBA. You're going to have ugly games. It's just a matter of, to me, I always say good teams find ways to win games and bad teams find ways to lose them. And I thought that was kind of the case in this one. The Lakers are a very good team and they found a way to win, even as ugly as it was. So, LeBron in this game just continued to be magnificent. 29 points, 11 assists, only 4 rebounds, but I mean, he just controlled the game and he was the man. He was the man. AD didn't have a great game, certainly by his standards, but made the big defensive play at the end. He had 4 blocks overall. He just having him defensively is just such a blessing for the Lakers to have that guy that can not only cover so much ground with his size, his length and athleticism, but is just so smart on that end as well. And he was ready for that Harrison Barnes drive. I was going to be curious if Barnes didn't trip, if AD would have gotten over there in time. Might have changed the play a little bit, but AD got over there and made the big play and sealed the win. Shout out to Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, by the way. I know people have been really hard on him this year. He's really struggled to really find his shot. And I was really surprised that KCP was in the starting lineup when it was announced. I really thought they'd go with Alex Caruso just because I thought Caruso offers a pretty similar skill set as Avery Bradley. He's a really tough-minded defensive player, makes, just some pretty smart plays offensively, doesn't really try and force the issue a whole lot. And so I figured, Caruso will probably start. And Vogel went with KCP, and KCP made some clutch buckets. Finished with 16 points. I think he had 12 in the fourth quarter, and he had, like I said, he had some clutch buckets for the Lakers when they needed them, and he was a big reason why they won that game. And gotta tip your cap to him. Tip your cap. I mean, I know a lot of people have been hard on him, but hey, at the end of the day, he's a Laker. We got to show support and acknowledge the guy when he does well. Acknowledge him when he does well. I mean, what can you say? Hit 6 of 10 shots, 3 of 5 from the 3-point line, and again, shout out to KCP, man. Big time performance, especially in the clutch, and the Lakers needed it. Lakers definitely needed it. So, and that's what you want. I mean, that's what you want out of a championship team, right? Like, you're going to have different guys step up in different games. We've seen it with Quinn Cook. We've seen it with Alex Caruso. We've seen it with Dwight Howard, Kyle Kuzma. You get different guys off the bench to make contributions. JaVale McGee stepped up in certain moments. Danny Green, obviously. So it's not going to just be all AD and LeBron. You're going to have those role players that step up. That's how it works, man. That's how you compete and you win championships. Your role players step up and make big plays. I mean, obviously, Laker fans know that probably better than anybody. Back in the day, it used to be Robert Ory or Derek Fisher. Those you got to have those types of guys on your team that are ready to step up and make plays in clutch moments. So, alrighty, that's what's been happening lately with the Lakers. Like I said, a new winning streak, 3 games, and they got a chance to build on this a little bit. Obviously, Avery Bradley being out really hurts. They're going to miss his defense and really what he did what he can do offensively, especially in that Phoenix game. I forgot to mention this in that game. What they ran, I swear it was like 7 or 8 straight plays out of a horn set that got Avery Bradley a dribble handoff off of a stagger screen, and it was just essentially a pick and roll with him and I think Anthony Davis. But it just continued to work. Bradley's passing in that game was fantastic. So wanted to make sure I highlighted that before I get off of here. But next up is a Sunday matchup with the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks, if you look at their record, you would think this would also be a fairly easy win for the Lakers. But man, they've got one of the most electrifying players in the NBA and Trae Young. This is going to be it's going to be a tougher game than people realize. I think the next two will be tougher than people realize, but I still think the Lakers should win both. They have Atlanta and then Oklahoma City at home before they go on the road for 4 games at OKC for the second half of the home and home. And then at Memphis, who's playing some pretty good ball. John Morant making some big plays down there in Memphis. Play at San Antonio again. That's going to be their final trip to San Antonio already this year. And then at New Orleans, it's going to be AD's return game to New Orleans, and the Lakers get to go up against the youngsters, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Josh Hart. Assuming those guys are healthy. I know they've been banged up right now. So, but it still looks like a pretty favorable stretch for the Lakers. I think they can really rack up some of these wins and really continue to build some momentum and hopefully create a little bit of separation at the top of the standings. So we will have to wait and see on that. But the Hawks game coming up on Sunday is going to be tougher than people think. Trae Young, like I said, is really, really good. I mean, he's not just a shooter or a scorer. I mean, that dude can really pass the ball as well. Offensively, I mean, he's just a very, very gifted player. I mean, right now, averaging 27 points, 9 assists, and dude can shoot the basketball. He can really, really shoot it. Basically, once he crosses half court, he's within his range. He's got unbelievable range, and this Hawks team is, they're very young. But they're very well coached. They're very well coached, and I think they're on the right track to building that team. I think they're probably a year or two away from being, a legitimate playoff threat in the Eastern Conference. But they're a fun team to watch, man. They're a fun team to watch, and the Lakers are gonna. They've got a challenge on their hands. They can't look at their record and think that this is going to be an easy win, especially because their record is that way because Trae Young did miss a few games with an ankle injury. So, going to be a tough one, but the Lakers, I think, have a good shot to hopefully win these next 2 games and get to 12-2 on the season. I don't want to look too far ahead, but they're sitting at 10-2 right now, and like I said, at the top of the Western Conference, and hopefully it stays that way. Right now, it's just a game up on the Houston Rockets, but as long as the Lakers keep playing some good basketball, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be just fine, and they'll be sitting pretty come playoff time. So let's keep the team healthy, and let's keep racking up these wins, and hopefully we can just continue to build. All right, I'm getting out of here. I will be on again later this week. We'll kind of have to see how my schedule plays out, but I'll be talking about probably a couple games, I'll be probably most likely talking about the 2 home games against the Hawks and the Oklahoma City Thunder before the Lakers hit the road for some games on the road and start a nice little road trip. So, all right, that's going to do it for this time. As always, guys, please like this video and subscribe to UCAS Studios and Lakers Outsiders on YouTube and all the major podcast platforms, so iTunes, Podbean, Spotify. And then, of course, you can find all of Lakers Outsiders content on LakersOutsiders.com. Follow us on social media at Lakers Outsiders on Twitter and Instagram, and then like us on Facebook as well. And then you can follow me on Twitter at Gary Kester. Like I said, that's going to do it. Lakers continue to win games, and it's a lot of fun. So hopefully they can keep it up, and hopefully next time I'm on, we'll talk about some more wins. So until then, though, this is Gary Kester with the Lakers Outsiders, signing off.